What my son said melted my heart. Not because it was big. Not because it was dramatic. Not because it was a grand speech. Because it was simple. Because it was honest. Because it came from a place deep inside him. A place I thought had closed. A place I thought I would never reach again. For years I had been silent. For years I had been patient. For years I had been waiting. Waiting for my son to come back to me. Waiting for him to see the truth. Waiting for him to say the words I needed to hear. His name is David. My only child. The boy I held in my arms when he was born. The boy I watched take his first steps. The boy I taught to ride a bike. The boy I stayed up with when he was sick. The boy I worked 2 jobs to send to college. The boy I loved more than anything in the world. But he had been lost. Lost to a woman who did not love him. Lost to a woman who only wanted to control him. Lost to a woman who turned him against me. Lost to lies. Lost to manipulation. Lost to silence. For 10 years, I did not hear his voice. For 10 years, I did not see his face. For 10 years, I did not hold my grandchildren. For 10 years, I sat in this rocking chair. Waiting. Hoping. Praying. And then one day, the phone rang. It was him. His voice was shaking. He said, "Mom, I need to see you." I drove to his house. I did not know what to expect. I did not know if he would be angry. I did not know if he would be cold. I did not know if he would even look at me. He opened the door. He looked terrible. He had lost weight. His eyes were red. He had been crying. He looked older than his years. He said, "Mom, can we talk?" I said, "Of course, sweetheart." We sat in his living room. The house was empty. His wife had left. She had taken the children. She had taken the furniture. She had taken everything. He was alone. He said, "Mom, I have something to tell you." I said, "I am listening." He took a deep breath. He looked at the floor. Then he looked at me. His eyes were full of tears. He said, "You were right. About everything. About her. About the lies. About the manipulation. About the isolation. You were right. And I was wrong. I was so wrong." I started crying. Not loud crying. Quiet crying. The kind that comes from deep in the heart. He said, "I am sorry, Mom. I am so sorry for the years I lost. For the phone calls I did not make. For the holidays I did not come. For the grandchildren you did not hold. For the pain I caused. I am sorry." I said, "I forgive you, David. I forgave you a long time ago. I was just waiting for you to come home." He said, "I am home, Mom. I am home." He hugged me. He held me. He did not let go. We stood there, in the empty house, holding each other, crying, healing. That was what he said. That was what melted my heart. Not "I love you." Not "I miss you." Not "you were right." Those words came later. What melted my heart was when he said, "I am home." Because he was. He was finally home. Let me go back. Let me tell you about the boy I raised. The boy who would one day come home. I met my husband, Richard, in 1965. I was 16. He was 18. He was a farmer. Strong. Quiet. Kind. He worked the land. He came home smelling of hay and earth. He would wash his hands at the kitchen sink. Then he would hold me. Then he would hold our son. We had one child. David. Our only son. I held him in the delivery room. He was so small. So fragile. His fingers curled around mine. I cried. Richard cried. He said, "We made a person, Helen. A whole person." We raised David in that small house. The one with the garden. The one where Richard grew tomatoes. They were terrible tomatoes. Small. Hard. Bitter. But every summer, we ate them. And every summer Richard said, "Next year they will be better." They never got better. But we ate them anyway. That is what families do. They eat the bitter tomatoes together. David was a sweet boy. Easy. Quiet. He did not get into trouble. He did his homework without being asked. He cleaned his room. He said please and thank you. Other parents used to say, "How did you raise such a good boy?" I did not have an answer. I just got lucky. Or maybe Richard and I did something right. I do not know. Parenting is a mystery. You try your best. And you hope. Richard died when David was 22. Just out of college. Just starting his life. The doctors said it was a heart attack. Sudden. Quick. No warning. He was in the field. Plowing. He collapsed. He was gone before the ambulance arrived. I was 40 years old. A widow. Alone. After Richard died, I did not know who I was. For 22 years, I was Helen and Richard. We were a pair. Like salt and pepper. Like coffee and cream. Now I was just Helen. And Helen did not know how to be alone. David stepped in. He called every day. He visited every weekend. He brought groceries. He fixed things around the house. The faucet that dripped. The step that creaked. The light in the hallway that had been broken for 6 months. He fixed everything. Except the hole in my heart. Then he met Vanessa. Vanessa worked at a marketing firm. She was a manager. She was younger than him. 24. David was 26. She was sharp. Ambitious. Beautiful. She wore expensive clothes and spoke like she was giving a presentation. She reminded me of a businesswoman. Polished. Professional. Cold. I met her for the first time at a restaurant. David wanted me to meet her somewhere neutral. He was nervous. I could tell. He kept checking his phone. He kept looking at the door. Vanessa arrived on time. She walked in like she owned the place. She sat down. She said, "You must be Helen. David talks about you all the time." I said, "All good things, I hope." She smiled. But her smile did not reach her eyes. It was a smile she had practiced. A smile she used with clients. A smile that said, "I am being polite, but do not mistake this for warmth." She ordered a salad. No dressing. A glass of white wine. She ate the salad. She was performing a task. She talked about her career. Her promotions. Her goals. She did not ask me one question about myself. Not one. Not what do you do? Not what do you like? Not, how are you doing after losing your husband? After she left, David said, "So? What do you think?" I said, "She is very professional." He said, "That is a good thing, Mom. She knows what she wants." I said, "Does she want a family? Does she want children?" He said, "Eventually. When she is ready." I did not say what I was thinking. I did not say, "Son, life does not wait for ready." I did not say, "Love is not a business meeting." I did not say, "I have a bad feeling about this." I said, "If she makes you happy, I am happy for you." He smiled. He looked relieved. He said, "Thanks, Mom. That means everything." They got married a year later. Big wedding. Expensive. Vanessa wanted everything perfect. The venue. The flowers. The cake. The band. The invitations. The favors. Everything had to be just so. David paid for most of it. He took out a loan. A loan. For a wedding. I wanted to say something. But I did not. It was not my place. I was just the mother of the groom. I was just the widow. I was just the old woman. I offered to help. I had some savings. Not much. But enough to cover the flowers or the catering. Vanessa said, "No thank you, Helen. We want to do this ourselves. Our way." She called me Helen. Not Mom. Not even Mrs. Davis. Helen. Like I was a coworker. Like I was someone she had just met. At the wedding, I sat in the back row. The family row. Third row. Not first. Not second. Third. Vanessa's parents sat in the front. Her sister sat in the second row. I sat in the third row. Behind the aunt I had never met. I watched my son marry a woman I did not trust. I watched him put a ring on her finger. I watched him kiss her. I watched him smile. And I smiled too. I clapped. I cheered. I wiped away a tear. I did everything a mother is supposed to do. But inside I was breaking. After the wedding, things changed. Slowly. Like a tide coming in. You do not notice at first. Then you look down and the water is at your knees. David used to call me every day. After Vanessa, he called twice a week. Then once a week. Then once every 2 weeks. He said he was busy. He said work was crazy. He said Vanessa needed him. I understood. I did not complain. I did not want to be a burden. We used to have Sunday dinners at my house. Every week. After church. After lunch. It was our tradition. After the wedding, Vanessa started making excuses. David would call and say, Vanessa is tired. Vanessa has a headache. Vanessa has to work tomorrow. Then David stopped calling. I would call him. He would answer sometimes. Short conversations. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. He would say, everything is fine, Mom. Just busy. Then he would say he had to go. Then he would hang up. I started counting the days between calls. 7 days. 14 days. 21 days. 30 days. I would mark them on the calendar on my refrigerator. A small X for every day he did not call. The calendar filled with X's. I tried calling Vanessa. Once. Twice. She did not answer. I left a message. Vanessa. It is Helen. Just calling to say hello. Hope you are both doing well. Love you. She did not call back. I tried sending cards. Birthday cards. Anniversary cards. Just because cards. I would write little notes inside. Thinking of you. Missing you. Love, Mom. No response. I tried showing up. With casseroles. With cookies. With excuses. I was in the neighborhood. I had extra food. I just wanted to see you. Vanessa would open the door. She would stand in the doorway. She would not invite me in. She would take the casserole. She would say, "Thank you, Helen." Then she would close the door. I would stand on the porch, holding my empty hands, staring at the closed door. Then I would walk back to my car, drive home, to my empty house, to my rocking chair. The years passed. 1, 2, 5, 8, 10 years of silence. 10 years of waiting by the phone. 10 years of hoping for a call that never came. I did not stop living. I could not. I had to keep going. I had to keep breathing. I had to keep hoping. I went to church. Every Sunday. I lit a candle for David. For Vanessa. For my grandchildren. For the family I had lost. I prayed. I prayed for them. I prayed for me. I prayed for the day my son would come home. I went to the cemetery. Every month. I sat by Richard's grave. I talked to him. I told him about David. About the silence. About the years that I said, "Richard, I do not know what to do. I have tried everything. I have been patient. I have been kind. I have been silent. But nothing works. He is still gone." Richard did not answer. He never does. But I felt him. I felt his hand on my shoulder. I felt his love. And I knew that no matter what happened next, I was not alone. Not really. I joined a support group. For parents of estranged children. There were other mothers there. Women like me. Women who had been forgotten. Women who had been replaced. Women who were waiting. Hoping. Praying that we would sit in a circle. We would share our stories. Some would cry. Some would laugh. Some would just sit in silence. I learned that I was not alone. That my pain was not unique. That thousands of mothers were sitting in rocking chairs, staring at walls, waiting for phone calls that never came. But I never gave up. I never stopped loving. I never stopped hoping. I kept the phone plugged in. I kept the ringer on. I kept my heart open. Because one day I knew it would ring. And I wanted to be there to answer. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in the garden, pulling weeds. My hands were in the dirt. The sun was warm on my back. The phone rang. I did not recognize the number. I almost did not answer. But something told me to pick up. It was David. His voice was shaking. He said, "Mom, I need to see you." My heart stopped. I said, "What is wrong, sweetheart?" He said, "I cannot explain over the phone. Can you come?" I said, "I will be right there." I drove to his house in 20 minutes. It usually takes 40. I do not remember the drive. I do not remember the traffic. I do not remember parking the car. I only remember running. Running to the door. Running to my son. He opened the door. He looked terrible. He had lost weight. His eyes were red. He had been crying. He looked older than his years. The house behind him was empty. No furniture. No pictures. No life. He said, "Mom, can we talk?" I said, "Of course, sweetheart." We sat in his living room. On the floor. There was no furniture. Just bare walls. Just echoes. Just silence. He said, "She left, Mom. She took the children. She took the furniture. She took everything. I have nothing. I have no one." I said, "You have me, David. You have always had me. I never left. I was just waiting for you to come back." We sat on the floor of his empty house. The walls were bare. The windows were bare. The floors were bare. She had taken everything. Even the curtains. Even the rugs. Even the memories. David said, "I did not know, Mom. I did not know she was lying. I did not know she was manipulating me. I did not know she was turning me against you. I thought she loved me. I thought she wanted what was best for our family. But she only wanted what was best for her." I said, "I know, sweetheart. I have known for a long time. But I could not tell you. You would not have believed me. You had to see it for yourself." He said, "I see it now, Mom. I see everything. The way she isolated me from you. The way she made me feel guilty for loving you. The way she made me choose. Her or you. And I chose wrong." I said, "You did not choose wrong, David. You chose love. You chose the woman you thought would make you happy. There is nothing wrong with that." He said, "But I hurt you, Mom. I hurt you so much. I did not call. I did not visit. I did not let you see your grandchildren. I believed her lies. I believed that you were toxic. I believed that you were trying to destroy our marriage. I believed everything. And I was wrong." I said, "You were not wrong, sweetheart. You were deceived. There is a difference." He started crying. He put his head in his hands. He said, "I do not know how to fix this, Mom. I do not know how to make it right. The years are gone. I cannot get them back. You cannot get them back. The damage is done." I moved closer. I put my arm around him. I said, "The years are not gone, David. They are just waiting. Waiting for us to fill them with new memories. Waiting for us to start again." He looked at me. His eyes were red. His face was wet. He said, "Do you think we can start again, Mom?" I said, "I know we can, sweetheart. Because I never stopped loving you. And you never stopped loving me. We just forgot. For a little while. But we remember now." We sat in silence for a while. The sun was setting outside. The room was getting dark. But neither of us moved. Neither of us wanted to leave. Then David spoke. His voice was quiet. Almost a whisper. He said, "Mom, I have something to tell you." I said, "I am listening, sweetheart." He took a deep breath. He looked at the floor. Then he looked at me. His eyes were full of tears. He said, "You were right. About everything. About her. About the lies. About the manipulation. About the isolation. You were right. And I was wrong. I was so wrong." I started crying. Not loud crying. Quiet crying. The kind that comes from deep in the heart. The kind you cannot control. He said, "I am sorry, Mom. I am so sorry for the years I lost. For the phone calls I did not make. For the holidays I did not come. For the grandchildren you did not hold. For the pain I caused. I am sorry," I said. "I forgive you, David. I forgave you a long time ago. I was just waiting for you to come home." He said, "I am home, Mom. I am home." He hugged me. He held me. He did not let go. We sat there. In the empty house. On the bare floor. Holding each other. Crying. Healing. That was what he said. That was what melted my heart. Not "I love you." Not "I miss you." Not "you were right." Those words came later. What melted my heart was when he said, "I am home." Because he was. He was finally home. That night I did not go home. I stayed at David's house. On the floor. With him. We talked for hours. About the past. About the lies. About the silence. About the years. About the pain. He told me everything. About Vanessa's manipulation. About her lies. About the way she turned him against me. About the things she said I did. About the things she said I said. None of it was true. None of it. She had made it all up. To isolate him. To control him. To have him all to herself. He said. She told me you said I was a disappointment. She told me you said she was not good enough for me. She told me you were trying to break up our marriage. I believed her. Because I wanted to believe her. Because it was easier than facing the truth. Because if I believed her, I did not have to fight. I said. You were young, David. You were hurting. You were trying to build a life. You made mistakes. The important thing is that we learn from them. The important thing is that we are together now. He said. I have learned, Mom. I have learned that you are the only one who never gave up on me. You waited. You hoped. You prayed. You never stopped. Even when I pushed you away. Even when I believed her lies. I said, that is what mothers do, sweetheart. We never give up. We never stop loving. We never stop waiting by the phone. David filed for divorce. Vanessa did not fight it. She had already moved on. She had met someone else. She remarried quickly. She moved to another state. She took the children with her. David fought for custody. He fought hard. He hired a good lawyer. He went to court. He told the judge about Vanessa's lies. About her manipulation. About her isolation. The judge gave him joint custody. The children would live with Vanessa during the school year. They would stay with David every summer and every other holiday. It was not perfect. But it was something. It was a start. David moved back into my house. Not permanently. Just for a while. Just until he figured things out. He slept in his old room. The one with the posters still on the wall. The one with the high school trophies on the shelf. I cooked for him. Every day. Potruast. Meatloaf. Chicken soup. The foods he loved as a boy. The foods that made him feel safe. He ate everything. 2 servings. 3 servings. He was hungry. Not just for food. For home. We fell back into our old rhythm. Sunday afternoons. Cooking together. Watching old movies. Talking about nothing and everything. He told me about the children. About how much they had grown. About how much they missed me. About how Vanessa had told them I did not want to see them. About how they believed her. I said, they will understand someday, David. Children are smart. They will remember who was there. Who showed up. Who loved them. He said, I want to bring them here, Mom. I want them to know you. I want them to know the truth. I said, when you are ready, sweetheart. When they are ready, I will be here. I am not going anywhere. The first summer, David brought the children to my house. They were shy at first. They did not know me. Their mother had told them I did not love them. Their mother had told them I did not want to see them. Their mother had told them lies. But children are smart. They watched. They listened. They felt. I did not push. I did not force. I just loved them. I cooked for them. I read to them. I played with them. I held them when they cried. I laughed with them when they were happy. Slowly, they began to trust me. Slowly, they began to love me. Slowly, they began to see the truth. One night my granddaughter Emily said, Grandma, why did Mommy say you were mean? I said, I do not know, sweetheart. Maybe she was confused. Maybe she was hurting. Sometimes people say things that are not true when they are hurting. Emily said, you are not mean, Grandma. You are nice. I love you. Started crying. I said, I love you too, Emily. More than you will ever know. She hugged me. She held me. She did not let go. That was the moment I knew everything would be okay. Not because the past had changed, but because the future was bright. So here I am, 68 years old, living in my home. The home where I raised my son. The home where I thought I would grow old alone. But I am not alone. My son is here. He is in the kitchen. He is making dinner. He is humming. He is happy. My grandchildren are here. They are drawing at the table. They are putting their drawings on my refrigerator, right in the middle, where everyone can see them. Vanessa is gone. The lies are gone. The silence is gone. The empty house is just a memory. A painful memory. But a memory. What my son said melted my heart. Not because it was big. Not because it was dramatic. Not because it was a grand speech. Because it was simple. Because it was honest. Because it came from a place deep inside him. A place I thought had closed. A place I thought I would never reach again. He said, "I am home." And he was. He was finally home. I have learned something in this house. Something I want to share with you. Especially if you are a mother. A grandmother. A woman who is waiting. Hoping. Praying for a phone call that never comes. Here it is that do not give up. Do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping. Even when the phone does not ring. Even when the years pass. Even when it feels like they have forgotten you. Keep the phone plugged in. Keep the ringer on. Keep your heart open. Because one day it might ring. And you want to be there to answer. What my son said melted my heart. But what kept my heart alive was hope. Hope that one day he would come home. And he did. That is my story. Thank you for listening. I still talk to Richard. Every night. Before I go to sleep. I look at his photo. I tell him about my day. I tell him about David. About the grandchildren. About the empty house. About the words that melted my heart. I think he can hear me. I think he is listening. I think he is proud of me. Not because I did everything right. I did not. But because I never gave up. Because I kept loving. Because I kept hoping. Because I kept the phone plugged in. That is all any of us can do. Keep loving. Keep hoping. Keep the phone plugged in. Even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard. I am Helen. I am 68 years old. What my son said melted my heart. But what kept my heart alive was hope. That is my story. Thank you for listening.